While being a poll worker may seem easy, the reality of the job is much different than what you might expect. It's long days that start as early as 5 a.m. and ones that don't end until 10 p.m. Those long hours, plus very little pay, makes this a position where you must be dedicated to one of our country's greatest traditions. Pit bulls make up the majority of the program's population and also a large portion of the shelter population. They have gathered a rather negative reputation lately, largely due to media portrayal. This stereotype is one Waffner would like to see change as soon as possible. Even though there is an application process at the Central New York STEAM High School, accessibility is very important. Students are going to come from very diverse backgrounds, a key factor in this new high school. Dr. Jody Manning says that geographic location should not determine the quality of a student's education. It was less than a year ago Flacco returned to the field, and he's now embracing his role as a mentor for Richardson. He says it's a blessing to still be playing. As Bruce Springsteen prepared to rock the night away at the JMA Dome, fans traveled hundreds of miles and paid high prices for the experience. Fans like Sheila Devaney, a native of Athens, Georgia, who came to visit her sister. She says the price was well worth it.
They got a continental breakfast, which is wonderful. On Wednesdays, they have a cocktail reception. We also have, with a Suite Hotel, we have the kitchen and a living room space. So we go for comfort.
According to Momondo, Central New York hotel prices vary from an average of $154 in Oneida County to $179 in Oswego County. Here in Onondaga County, Syracuse currently sits towards the higher end of the spectrum. Visit Syracuse President and CEO Danny Liedka says events like the Springsteen concert are great for the local economy.
Concerts of that magnitude really flood our market with a lot of people from outside the area, which is great for us because we like to make a great first impression and try to get them back.
It's not just concerts that drive the hospitality industry in Syracuse and Central New York. Sporting events are a big moneymaker for hotels, as well as official Syracuse University events, such as move-in week and graduation. Hotel rooms for Syracuse's commencement ceremony can cost as much as $900 per night, and some hotels sell rooms years in advance. Marriott Syracuse downtown general manager Melissa Oliver says Syracuse is in a unique situation when it comes to the number of hotel rooms.
In Syracuse, we have an odd situation where the number of our hotel rooms actually keeps decreasing. Most cities have the opposite problems. Too many hotel rooms, not enough demand. We don't have enough hotel rooms.
The number of hotel rooms in Syracuse is going to decrease even more here in just a few weeks. The Syracuse University Sheraton will close its doors after graduation as it is being converted to student housing. Liedka says losing the Sheraton will have a significant impact on the hospitality industry in the short term.
I think the market will correct itself in the next 3 to 5 years, but in the short term it'll have a massive impact.
As a consumer, there are ways to save money when booking hotel rooms. Planning your stay in advance helps lower the cost, and being a rewards member will provide more discounts. However, Oliver stresses there is one method that will help you save the most money.
The biggest advice that I could give anybody booking hotels is to never use third-party sites such as TripAdvisor, Expedia, Booking.com.
The reason being, it's difficult to get help if something goes wrong.
If you booked through Expedia, showed up at our hotel, we can't find your reservation. We have to then send you back to Expedia. They may have made a mistake and there's nothing we can do about it. And you're now in this loop of not being able to get help.
Keep all of this in mind the next time you plan a trip to see your favorite artist. Drew Von Sayo, NCC News.
I'd like to give a professor shout out to Professor Donna Stein. Last semester, she taught my PRL 214 class.
Syracuse University sophomore Kendall Johnson helps create and manage content for official school social media accounts. Much of her work uses TikTok to connect with current and future students. Since the bill has been passed in the House, she says the idea of the ban crosses her mind more often.
Now, TikTok is part of my job and it's something that I have to use every day. I do think about the ban more and more because it's concerning when it's one of the social media platforms that we use for admissions purposes. So it's become very prevalent, like on my mind recently.
Politicians are concerned about the app's algorithm censoring certain subject matter. This censorship would allow the Chinese Communist Party to control what Americans see on the app. Syracuse political science professor Chris Farrisee says this is a problem for younger generations.
It's the CCP having control, potentially, having influence over a company that is responsible as the main source of political information for tens of millions of Americans.
If the bill does pass, ByteDance has 6 months to find someone in the United States to purchase TikTok. However, the owner is decided upon by the president. Content creation would become much more difficult if TikTok's days are numbered here in the United States. Creators would have to find new ways to reach their targeted audience. Johnson says it's just going to require a little more creativity.
I just think it'll be a little more difficult because TikTok does have so many, little gadgets and ways to create short form content that Instagram doesn't usually have, and you might have to, use another editing app to create.
Until a decision is reached, the app can continue to be used. Reporting in Syracuse, I'm Drew Von Sayo for NCC News.